This is TWiT.
All right, we are back from the break, and as promised, it's time for that interview. The FCC just dropped a ban on future consumer, that is, dropped a ban as in made it here, on future consumer routers made outside the US, and it's a move that could reshape, possibly, the entire home networking market. Now, the justification, national security, but we'll have to see about the motivations behind everything. There's a lot to unpack here, what it means for consumers, what it means for the industry, and whether any of this actually makes us safer. Here to break it all down is The Verge's Sean Hollister. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, pleasure to get you here. And I'm so glad that you covered this because I know this is one of those stories that I will be getting questions on. So I can go, well, Sean told me, and that's where we get to go from there. So the FCC.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. The FCC recently made a pretty big move when it comes to consumer routers. Can you walk us through what exactly happened and then kind of give us an understanding of what this ban entails?
Yes, very specifically, the FCC is keeping routers from being imported, marketed, or sold in the United States if they are made, if a major portion of them is developed in another country. So foreign consumer routers specifically are the ones that are being, that future devices are being banned in the United States. So they can't come here, can't market them, can't sell them. But foreign routers is an interesting way of phrasing it because that's basically all consumer routers. Basically, anything that that is made that would move packets of internet traffic and network traffic around your home. It's not produced here. It's produced elsewhere, right? Even if the company is a United States company, Netgear in San Jose, Cisco in Silicon Valley, Linksys, all of these companies, they don't make the routers here. They haven't for a long time, any more than Apple makes its MacBooks and Macs here, right? We know these computers, they don't come from here. And so to say that you're going to ban the foreign routers because you're worried about national security, you're basically just saying you're banning all the routers. So what is this actually about?
All right. So based on that, if someone at home is hearing this and then they're looking and they're going, oh God, I've got a router and I know I didn't make it and I don't think it was made in the US. Oh, I looked at the bottom. It says made in China. What do they need to know? Are existing routers affected? Is someone going to come and take my router away from me? Or is this...
The government is not going to take your router away. I promise they're not going to take your router away. The FCC promises they're not going to take your router away. But this kind of undercuts the whole argument that there's a security concern here too. Because if there's nothing wrong with your existing router, then how do they justify banning routers over security concerns? But yeah, so they're not mandating, the FCC is not mandating anything. They're not mandating you stop using the router. They're not saying the government's going to stop using these routers. They're not saying you got to go patch your routers. There's no recall. There's nothing. All of it is these companies are being shaken down maybe so that they can, if they want to bring future routers into the United States. So future routers, the FCC has to authorize the radios of any new gadget that comes into the United States to make sure there isn't any harmful interference, to make sure that if you put a router out there, it's not going to, interfere with a plane or a drone or an emergency radio broadcast, a signal, from between a dispatcher and firefighters and paramedics. Not that those are on the same frequencies necessarily at all, but the FCC helps make sure of that. Now it's using this same power to keep certain kinds of gadgets from coming into the United States unless these companies make special deals with the government.
Now, in this, the FCC, of course, is pointing to Volt Typhoon, Salt Typhoon. That's why we have to do this. From what you found, I mean, you've covered this a lot in what you've said so far, but what can you tell us about which routers were targeted in the attacks regarding Volt Typhoon and Salt Typhoon, and why maybe that argument doesn't hold weight?
So if you're thinking about these gigantic cybersecurity attacks that lots of routers were kind of commandeered, maybe turned into a botnet so that hackers could use the power of all these, all these enterprise routers, all these consumer routers to get at networks. If you're trying to say that that was a foreign thing, you'd be right in that Chinese hackers tried to commandeer these routers. At least that's what the government said, and I don't see any reason to disbelieve them on that count. Chinese hackers might have been involved in this. But did they target Chinese routers? Not necessarily. Netgear and Cisco, these US companies that we would think would be designing the routers, making sure they're secure and safe, those were some of the routers that they went after. And one of the reasons they were able to go after these routers is not because they were Chinese, it's because the telecom giants didn't necessarily put secure passwords on them, did not necessarily buy new ones or patch them properly. It's very basic cybersecurity practices that were not followed by U.S. infrastructure. And that's how they were able to get in, is our understanding of the situation.
Wow. Okay. Now, one thing seems to kind of stand out here, and it's this approach, right? Of sometimes you get these mandates from the government, and they don't quite have a rollout of what's going to happen, what you need to do. The FCC, at least kindly, has laid out a path for router makers to apply for this conditional approval to keep selling new products in the U.S. Can you tell us a little bit more about this process? Anything noticeably or notably absent from the requirements? Like, are there strict security standards involved in the process?
I feel like maybe you've read my explainer on The Verge about the U.S. router ban, because you're setting me up for this. You would think, I would think, that if the U.S. government is concerned about the security of these routers, and it's going to be doing these negotiations with various companies, that one of the things it would ask for is, please show us, various Chinese and U.S. companies that want to bring your routers into the States, please show us that you're going to improve the security of these devices, that you're going to patch them on a regular schedule, that you're going to make sure that they are fixed, that they are better, that they are not going to lead to these kinds of attacks. There are zero questions about cybersecurity in the list of conditions for approval of these new routers that these companies want to bring into the United States. What is in this list of conditional approval? It's a lot of questions about where they are made, who they are made by, and a huge section on a U.S. manufacturing and onshoring plan. What the U.S. government wants from these companies is a promise that they will start making routers in the United States, that they will commit a certain amount of money to doing that over the next 1 to 5 years. And so there are as many questions about that as about anything else in the conditional approval. So if you want to get your routers into the United States companies, you need a detailed time-bound plan to establish or expand manufacturing in the United States. And it says very specifically, in order for that device to qualify for FCC authorization. The FCC is not being coy about this. There are many questions about, oh yeah, tell us where they come from, tell us the government influence. This point very specifically says, if you want authorization, you're going to give us your plan and tell us how much money you're going to spend on U.S. manufacturing, which isn't the worst thing, I suppose. Yeah, let's bring manufacturing back to the United States. Let's bring jobs back to the United States. If that's what the Trump administration actually believes they could do, if that is a realistic goal, I don't mind that. But everything we've seen from this administration is that they simply want to look good. Trump wants to look good. He wants to get a cut of this to show that he's strong-armed various companies into doing his bidding. So I don't believe that that's...
Yeah, speaking of sort of strong-arming other companies, you did draw a comparison to the ban that hit DJI. What did DJI do in response? And do we think that gives us insight into how router companies will respond?
DJI is a bit more complicated of a situation. There is a direct parallel in that this router ban is modeled 100% off of the foreign drone ban that the U.S. government and the FCC also implemented back in December, I believe. And so, like that, like this ban, the foreign drone ban keeps companies from bringing new drones into the United States while saying, yep, you can keep using your existing drones. Companies can even keep bringing their pre-approved drones, the previous generation of drones, into the United States. That is fine with routers. That is fine with drones. But in the case of drones, it's not lots of different companies that bring drones to the United States. There's DJI is the big one. It is the vast majority of this. And so it's very specifically targeting DJI in that ban. The difference is, the main difference is that the government had already targeted DJI. With these routers, I don't think Linksys, Netgear, Asus are going to have any problem getting a pre-approved existing router through customs. But with DJI, U.S. Customs was already blocking drones that had full approval to be in the United States. And so what DJI is doing is DJI is suing because it can't sell its products here in any global, in any holistic way. It can get a few through here and there, but it can't sell its best drones in the United States because customs is blocking them, not because of the foreign drone ban.
Got it. Now, lastly, I think this is sort of the big crystal ball question. There's been a lot of discussion about whether this is genuinely this national security measure, or, as you've talked about, a bit of a shakedown. Based on everything you've dug into, because this is big. I mean, people are going to be wondering what the heck's going on here. What are the signals, do you think, that will tell us where this is really headed? What should we be looking out for, other than more reporting by you, of course, when it comes to this? What are next steps?
We need to know where these companies decide to land. Are they going to, your Linksys, your Netgear, your Asus, whether your router manufacturer is based in the United States or outside, are they going to apply for conditional approval and commit to U.S. manufacturing? When they do that, if they do that, are there going to be meaningful dollar figures and meaningful locations in the United States that they attach that to? Are they going to break ground on a facility? Are they going to buy up, swath of territory in the U.S. to do that? Or are they going to, like DJI is doing with its latest drones, are they going to say, we're not bringing these to the U.S. anymore? Good luck, U.S. You'll figure out routers on your own. We'll see if new companies pop up to do that. The difference here, where I do think some companies will apply for this, is that Netgear and Cisco and Linksys and a number of these have history in the United States. They were started here. They have those ties, and they can't say, oh, we'll just go serve China very easily, because they'd be losing their home country. Whereas DJI can do that a little bit more easily. It's a chunk of their market for drones, but it's not like they would be in this place where they have to be like, we've lost our home country and now we have to only sell in the rest of the world. So I expect some companies will indeed do this, but to what degree? Is it going to be something where they do just enough to make Trump look good? They do just enough to be like, oh yeah, we'll put some millions into manufacturing here, and that's good enough that the government can chalk it up as a win. But we're going to make most of our stuff in Vietnam still, most of our stuff in China still, most of our stuff in Thailand still. Or are they going to meaningfully do something here? Or maybe some of them sue. I don't know. Those are the stories that I'm looking out for next.
Well, Sean, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, to walking us through this ban and what in the world it means. Always a pleasure to get to chat with you. If people would like to keep up to date with the work that you're doing, where are the places they should go to do so?
I am Sean Hollister at The Verge, and I am Sean Hollister on Blue Sky.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sean. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
You enjoying this tiny taste of Tech News Weekly? I'm happy to hear it. You can check out the full show on our website, twit.tv/TNW, or you can watch it right here on YouTube. Just click the link below.